Hello everyone. My name is Dr. Farrar. I will be the instructor for this course, which is Literature 2010, British Literature 1 Online, which covers British literature from its beginnings to 1750. And we will be covering this in a very short amount of time. And so what I'm doing at this point is giving an orientation, kind of a course introduction to, including things like the syllabus and just the general procedures of how every week will go. So um, let's see. The date of this course, it's an 8-week course, goes from 8/22 to 10/16. My email has not been determined. I imagine it will be something along the lines like rfarrar@nova.edu. I guess we'll wait. We'll wait and see. I'm new to the university, and so they still have to put me in the system, and that will be announced shortly. You'll get an announcement, I'm sure. So my office hours are virtual, Sunday 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. I will be on my computer. There's also appointments where I can try to get back to you, and everything will be, through online, either through Blackboard or, through, some other system. I am also on Skype, or actually, we should be able to use Collaborate through Blackboard. So I will look into that. Otherwise, you can always email me, and we can set something up. Okay. The required textbook is the Norton Anthology, volumes 1A, 1B, 1C, and that is non-negotiable. It is a requirement that we will draw directly from this book. Although, let's see, I believe the edition we are using, um, oh, it is ninth edition, so yes, that is correct. I believe it was updated recently. So course requirements. One of the things that will happen weekly is that there will be discussion board postings, and this will take the place of participation in class, where I will require 3 posts from you, and there's prompts on the schedule. Um, when we get to Blackboard, this will be organized it'll be organized by week. So you click on week 1, you'll find everything you need there. You need for the course there. Well, for that week there, you'll find readings, you'll find links to writing about literature, you will find the video, such as this one, and you'll find a link to the discussion board. So at the end of the week, one of the things that you'll need to do typically is submit a discussion board post. One original post, about 6 or more sentences that respond to the prompt, and then you'll need to write 2 responses to 2 different classmates at least. Each of those posts are worth 100 points on their own. So this is 3 grades. Your original post is 1 grade. So if you do not complete the other 2 posts, the responses to your classmates, that will be 2 zeros. Or if it's incomplete and doesn't meet the requirements, that could be something like a 70 or 75. So be sure to complete those at the end of the week. And the due dates are posted on the schedule, and it says here as well that's due Friday at 10 p.m. So you'll have 2 timed exams during the semester as well. This will consist of multiple choice and then an identification short answer section. I will have a midterm and final review to give you more insight into the format. So these will be conducted through Blackboard. They will be timed. You will have 1 attempt to complete it. It will be timed for an hour and 15 minutes. And you'll have a limited window to complete those. So I will go over more of the logistics when we get there. Okay, literary analysis essays. You'll have to write 2 essays for this course. The first one will need to be 750 to 1,000 words each. 1,000 words in total. Sorry about that. And at least 2 critical sources. I will have a document on Blackboard called, essay number 1 prompts, and it'll give you about 15 prompts to choose from to write 1 paper. You choose one of those prompts, and you write your academic paper, and you write your essay in response to that, following, based on the guidelines of writing about literature. You will write an essay that is a formal argument about the literature, and based on the prompt too, which usually has some pretty decent ideas that you can adopt. So essay number 2 is basically the same format. It has 3 critical sources, so these include secondary sources that write about the literature from databases such as JSTOR, Project Muse, or Academic Search Premier. It'll be a little bit longer, and you'll need 3 critical sources. Okay. So as it says here, critical source is literary criticism, and it gives a more um, elaborate definition of a critical source. So formatting assignments, pay close attention to this. It needs to be a Word, an MS document, preferably, or even PDF would work. But it does need to be one space. Well, it needs to be double space, 1 inch margins on all sides. So make sure you do that. Take away the 8 point. For instance, if you go to paragraph in Microsoft Word, make sure these read as 0 point right here, the before and after, and make sure this says double space. And then to see the page layout for the margins, you click Page Setup and make sure it's 1 inch all around. This is not 1 inch all around, obviously. Okay. Needs to be MLA format. Due dates are listed on the schedule for each paper. Um, let's see. You have 2 days to turn a paper in late, and as it says here, a late assignment is penalized 1 full letter grade for each calendar day that it is late, and after that, it'll just be an F, and I won't grade it. You'll get no feedback on it either. So make sure that you stay on top of things. Don't copy anyone else's work. Make sure to look over this plagiarism section. Notice that this is in red, so it's a very serious matter that you do your own work. The best you can do is your own work entirely. Like, even if you don't feel like you're a strong writer, make sure you do your own work, and that'll work out the best for you, because it's not very hard to discover plagiarism, and I don't want to have to report anybody for that. Okay, method of feedback. With regards to grades and comments, unlike some traditional classrooms, I do not give written comments. My default method of feedback is to record a video like this one with your paper on the screen, and I'll give comments about your paper, and then I upload that to Blackboard. So if you prefer typed comments, please, it's your responsibility to contact me through email and request it. Okay. So this is an 8-week class. Notice this is the setup. So for week 1 right now, we're going to go over the syllabus. Make sure you read up on email etiquette. We have some links to you'll have some links to writing about literature to cover, some literary terms to familiarize yourself with what kind of things to look for in literature. And then we have 2 literary readings, Beowulf and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. And you'll watch a lecture over these 2 readings. I'll give some historical background of the period that gives a little bit more context to why these readings are considered important. And then we have 2 discussion board assignments for this week. So discussion number 1, which will also be a grade, is your personal introduction and any questions you have about the syllabus. In fact, start there as far as addressing anything that you feel like I've passed over too quickly in this video, and post your questions there. Those will be grades as well. That discussion board will be a grade as well. And discussion number 2 will be devoted directly to the readings, Beowulf and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. One is was written in Old English, and the other, so they're a little bit distant. Beowulf is an Old English piece, and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is the beginnings of Middle English. Okay. And then we move on to week 2, similar setup, and I have the page numbers here that you need to read for each reading. Like Thomas More's Utopia, there is read only book 1, and these are the page numbers in which it's located between. Same thing with Beowulf and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, those are page numbers. So you will have until Friday to make these discussion board posts. So you need to have these 2 works read. They are long readings, so be aware of that. It moves at a very fast pace since it's an 8-week course. And you'll need to complete your discussion boards all by Friday. Which is which is actually I think it's 8:25. Let's see, 22, 23, 22, 23, 24, 25. Actually, no, it's 26. Apologies, it's 26. Sorry, I know I'm not that great. And then if you look at the due dates, you have an exam before your first paper is due. Your exam will be due by the end of week 3, so that's pretty quick. And then you have and then your essay will be due the week after that as well. And so we are starting from Old English, the Middle Ages, with Old English and Middle English, and we move to the Renaissance era with late 15th into the to the 17th century. We go to Restoration, and we go to some early Enlightenment writing. And that is how it will go. In fact, week 8 will be you finishing up your written assignment. So you have a whole week to finish your final essay. Okay. So that is, and I have a grading criteria here, a rubric, as far as what I'm looking for, what makes a good paper, what makes a weaker paper. I am also going to put model sample papers I've had in past classes that have done similar assignments, and what made them. We'll talk about what made them successful. There will be more. There will be videos covering this as well. Okay. Um, so here is the breakdown of the percentages, and this is how it translates. And of course, there are other college-wide policies. So if you have any questions pertaining to this, we do not have the BB Learn page yet, or the Blackboard page. I'm sorry, it was called BB Learn at my prior institution. We do not have Blackboard up yet because I'm still not in the system, but when we do, it will look similar to this, perhaps a little bit more condensed, but it will look similar to this. Like you see, I have all these resources. I have a resource on how to read literature, rubric for papers. Um, I'll have presentations about the history, and this will be organized a little bit differently, but very similar. So if you have any questions about this video or any of the forthcoming videos, please let me know.